In this lecture, we'll focus on CSS styling, which means like how to apply CSS styling on elements in HTML of JSX. Alright, so if you talk about external CSS, then it doesn't have a considerable difference. But if you talk about internal and inline styling, then there is some difference. If you talk about traditional index.html, and if you wanna apply inline and internal CSS, so let's say we want to apply styling on element in the traditional index.html, we can do it in this way. We'll write style, then we will put the semicolon, and for example, if you want to change the color of h1 element of the h1 element, then we'll write color. So we'll put the semicolon and we'll write black, but it's giving an error because it's JSX element. It's a JSX element. So it's not the element of the initial index.html. So the styling method will be different in this case. So how can we apply the internal and inline styling on a JSX element? Let me show you how we can do it. So now I'm removing it as it's giving me an error. So we are going to use another method. We'll write style, then we'll put another expression inside this one. Let me put some content. So hey, how are you? Alright, so I want to change the color of this content. So for that, we'll write color red inside this expression. Now we'll save it. Now I'll check that inline styling has been applied to the h1 element. We'll go to the browser, and as you can see, it's been applied on it. Okay, so this is the way to apply the inline element on JSX, on the JSX element basically. So for example, we'll take a div and then we'll put an h1 in this div and then we save it. If you want to apply styling on this div, this can be done in the same way like we did it in the previous one. So we're changing its background color to green. If you want to give another property, then you will have to put a comma. So I'm giving another property, height, 100 VH. So this is the height. It's showing me an error because we added a comma here. We are giving width as well so that our screen should be colored. Okay, I gave the width 100%. So what have we done till now? We took a div and added h1 in it. This div will be covering our whole screen as we've given 100 VH height and 100% width. So now we'll check that the inline styling has been applied on elements or not. We'll move towards the browser. So as you can see, it's been applied. So inline styling works in this way for the JSX elements. So this was our inline styling. If you want to apply internal styling, then follow these instructions. We'll remove this as we've learned this concept. So now you can feel that it's a little bit irritating to write too much properties and it seems congested as well. Okay, if we make a variable and give these properties in that variable and we call that variable in style, then it will be better. So we're going to do it that way. Okay, we're removing it. Now we'll make a variable with the name of const main and it will make an object. So we'll give background green, height 100 VH, width 100%. So this is our variable. If you want to apply these properties in this single div, then how can we do it? I told you that if you want to put an outside variable in single HTML div element, like in a single HTML div or element, then you need to use the expression. Like that's what you should do if you want to put some outside variable in a single HTML div or element. You need to use the expression. Expressions are the curly braces. So we'll put the variable here. Now we'll input it and see if the values will apply or not. So, okay, you can see if the value applies or not. Let me add some content as well. So, hey, what's up? I'll write this. So this is our content. Now we'll see whether this CSS will be applied in this way or not. So as you can see, it's been applied. So whatever properties we've given to the variable, we simply put the properties. So this is how we can do an internal and inline styling in React with JSX elements. Alright, and now on to the next lecture.